My beloved child, Jesus is drawing near to you in this very moment. Not to make you panic that a single second of delay will cause you to lose him forever, but to lead you back from the road that has kept your heart living in exhaustion and anxiety for far too long. I, Michael, want you to pause, breathe deeply, and allow the urgent voices around you to become quiet. What heaven has prepared for you is not built upon a countdown clock, nor can it be erased simply because you missed a message. Sacred love is not like a fragile door waiting for one mistake before closing forever. Yet, I know there are things you have postponed for too long, truths you have seen but continually turned away from, and wounds you have hidden so deeply that you gradually became accustomed to living beneath their weight. Therefore, today's call carries seriousness, not to condemn you, but to awaken you before you continue surrendering your peace to things no longer worthy of your time and strength. If Jesus sheds tears for you, those tears do not come from helplessness or fear that you will leave him merely because you did not listen to the end of a message. They are tears of compassion for the child who repeatedly turned away from their own worth, remained too long in places without respect, and believed that suffering silently was the only way to prove loyalty. He saw the nights when you swallowed your tears so that no one would worry, the mornings when you rose, even though almost no strength remained within you, and the times you still smiled at others while wondering who would support you. Not one moment was forgotten. But, my child, heaven does not want you to turn suffering into a permanent home. The endurance that carried you through difficult days served a purpose. But now you need another kind of strength, the strength to stop. Establish boundaries, ask for help, and leave what continually wears you down. I was not sent to declare that an invisible disaster is certainly waiting to happen within the next 30 minutes. I have come to break the rule of fear, threatening words, and the imagination that keeps you living as though the next crisis is standing directly behind you. After experiencing so much instability, your mind learned to prepare for the worst before the present moment was even allowed to unfold. An unanswered message can make you believe you are about to be abandoned. A delay can make you think the door has closed. Heaviness in your chest can make you fear that danger is approaching. Yet not every silence is an omen. Not every change is an attack. And not every intense sensation carries a mystical meaning. Sometimes you are simply tired, lacking sleep, carrying too many responsibilities, or needing to be heard by someone trustworthy. A reversal needs to take place, but it must begin in the way you understand your life. You once believed that you had to chase people in order to make them stay. Now you must learn that someone sincere will not require you to sacrifice dignity. You once believed you had to keep explaining until everyone understood you. Now you need to recognize that some people have chosen to misunderstand, and more words will not change them. You once believed peace could come only when every problem had been solved. Now I am teaching you to remain steady even while some answers have not yet appeared. When the way you respond changes, the cycles that once ruled you begin to dissolve. Someone who could easily provoke you will no longer control your emotions. The old door that repeatedly pulled you back will gradually lose its attraction. Judgments that once caused you to doubt yourself will become small beside the new understanding you have developed. If something genuinely unusual is happening in your life, I want you to face it with awareness rather than speculation. If someone threatens you, follows you, crosses your boundaries, or makes you feel unsafe through specific actions. Preserve the evidence. Share it with someone you trust. And seek appropriate support. Do not confront the situation alone. But if you possess only a vague feeling without clear facts, do not turn that feeling into a terrifying story and imprison yourself in fear. I do not want you distrusting everyone, refusing to leave home, or believing that every glance contains harmful intentions. Genuine protection helps you live more wisely. It does not take away your freedom. The sword I carry is the sword of discernment, separating what is real from what you imagine, and separating a warning grounded in evidence from noise that causes panic. My beloved child, you do not lose Jesus every time you become tired, doubtful, or turn away. He does not love you inconsistently, nor does he use silence to punish you. Perhaps you have felt distant because too much noise, pain, or shame prevented you from recognizing the gentleness that remained beside you. But the distance you feel does not mean that you were abandoned. When you turn back, you do not find a locked door, you find patience waiting. I want you to stop believing that you must do something great in order to deserve love. Begin with honesty. Admit that you are tired. Recognize where you chose wrongly. Apologize if you hurt someone. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you could understand only after living through it. Returning is not a performance. It is a series of quiet choices that help you live more truthfully each day. What can rescue your heart now is not reading every sentence in fear, but understanding the reminder hidden within these words. Do not continue abandoning yourself. Do not place everyone's needs above your health. Do not preserve a relationship merely because you fear loneliness. Do not allow kindness to become a door through which others enter and take away your peace. Do not treat exhaustion as proof that you are responsible. There are burdens you need to put down, conversations you do not need to continue, and places from which you should walk away. Jesus does not rescue you from darkness so that you can return to patterns that make you collapse. He leads you toward freedom, but you must agree to walk through practical decisions. The next 30 minutes do not hold your entire destiny, but you can use that time to begin something real. Turn off the noise that makes your heart chaotic. Drink a glass of water. Sit quietly. And write down what is weighing upon you most. Distinguish what can be addressed today from what you need to release temporarily so that you stop trying to control everything. Send a message to someone trustworthy if you are too tired to carry the burden alone. Complete one small task you have postponed, or allow yourself to rest without guilt. These ordinary actions can become the beginning of profound change, because miracles do not always arrive with thunder. Sometimes they begin when you choose to care for the life you have been given. I am here to remind you that no secret tragedy possesses the right to write the ending of your life in advance. You still have the power to observe, choose, seek help, and change direction. What happened may have left pain, but it cannot determine who you will remain forever. You are no longer someone who knows only how to wait for the next blow. You are learning to build a peaceful place within, where threats cannot easily control you and chaos is no longer treated as normal. When you live in truth, what is false gradually loses its place. When you respect yourself, those who want only to use you find it more difficult to gain access. When you know how to seek support, burdens that once made you believe you were about to collapse become lighter. Therefore, lift your head. My beloved child, Jesus does not weep to hold you through fear. He draws near to wipe away the tears you concealed for too long. I do not stand beside you to announce that only a few seconds remain before everything collapses. I stand here to protect the clarity returning to your mind. Choose peace instead of panic, truth instead of speculation, and wise action instead of hurried reactions. You have not lost what has been prepared, nor have you stepped outside the love of heaven. This moment is not your final opportunity to be saved. It is a precious opportunity to stop delaying your return to dignity, awareness, and hope. Move forward slowly but steadily, because what is being renewed is not only the circumstances around you, but also the way you see yourself and the way you choose to live from this day onward. My beloved child, you have been protected through many circumstances without realizing how close you may have been to danger. There were days when you walked normally, unaware that one small different choice could have led you into a road filled with pain. There were nights when you slept peacefully while things that might have caused distress were quietly redirected. You called it luck, coincidence, or simply something that never happened. But I want you to understand that protection does not need to be visible in order to be meaningful. Sometimes protection comes through a cancelled appointment, a road you suddenly no longer want to take, a person leaving sooner than expected, or a quiet inner voice causing you to pause at the right time. I was near in those moments, not frightening you with things you did not need to know, but quietly guarding your footsteps from places that were not meant for you. Now I return with a stronger reminder, because you were not protected merely to continue living as before. You were preserved so that one day you could receive greater responsibility, a more mature way of living, and a purpose requiring you to remain steady in clarity. What is approaching may not look like a spectacular event or a gift that amazes everyone. It may begin with new understanding about yourself, an ability you once neglected, an opportunity requiring you to leave what is familiar, or an invitation to use what you have endured to support someone else. Great things do not always make great noise. Sometimes they are recognized when you can no longer continue living beneath the capacity placed within you. This is why you have often felt different. From your early years, you recognized that you did not see everything in the same way as the majority. What made others happy sometimes could not satisfy you. Superficial conversations quickly exhausted you, while deeper questions about meaning, love, truth, and purpose remained within you for a long time. You once tried to fit in by changing the way you spoke, hiding your true emotions, or agreeing with things your heart did not fully believe. You thought that becoming more like everyone else would make you feel less alone, yet each time you made yourself smaller to fit an unsuitable space. Another part of you became quieter and more exhausted. I want you to stop viewing your difference as a defect that must be corrected. You were not created to oppose everyone or isolate yourself from the world. But neither must you lose your authenticity in order to be accepted. Some seasons of solitude are not rejection. They are times when you are separated from noise so that you can recognize the peaceful voice within. When fewer people are telling you who you should become, you begin to see who you truly are. When unsuitable relationships leave, you have an opportunity to recognize what you once accepted merely because you feared being abandoned. The emptiness hurt, but within it, you learned how to stand without clinging, love without losing boundaries, and hope without placing your entire future in another person's hands. Your road has sometimes appeared lonely, but not because you have been placed above anyone. I do not want you using difference to exalt yourself or believing that you are so special that no one can understand you. You still need friendship, guidance, community, and sincere people who can correct you when you are wrong. Yet not everyone can walk with you through every stage. Some people accompany you for a season to teach a lesson, help you discover a part of yourself, or reveal what needs healing. When that purpose is complete, distance is not necessarily failure. Sometimes trying to force someone to stay after the roads have separated is what causes both people greater harm. The burden you carried but could not explain may have come from living too long between what you believed you had to do and what your heart knew was right. You fulfilled responsibilities, met expectations, and kept everyone comfortable. Yet, deep within you, a voice continued, reminding you that your life had greater meaning. That calling does not tell you to abandon duties or chase unrealistic fantasies. It invites you to restore meaning to what you do. Use your abilities responsibly, and stop postponing the steps you already know are necessary. Perhaps you need to learn another skill. Begin certain work. Establish a boundary. Or stop giving your best to places that only receive without preserving what you offer. Do not believe that your connection to the sacred depends upon subscribing to a channel, turning on a notification, or performing an action on a screen. If you choose to continue receiving encouragement, you are free to do so. But no button determines destiny or causes your name to be recognized in heaven. What is recognized is how you live when no one is watching, honesty in your work, compassion when you possess the power to retaliate, humility when praised, and courage to speak truth when silence would be easier. Genuine alignment is not measured by how many messages you hear, but by whether goodness transforms the way you treat yourself and others. If you want to remain connected to guidance, begin by creating a quiet space each day. Step away from the screen for a few minutes. Breathe slowly, and examine what is truly happening within you. Do not ask only what is coming toward you, ask who you are becoming. Do not only pray for a miracle, consider what preparation is needed so that you do not lose the gift when it comes. Do not merely desire an open door. Learn how to recognize which door is appropriate and which is only attractive from the outside. I am teaching you not to depend upon promises that excite your emotions for a moment, but to build faith capable of standing through perseverance, responsibility, and daily choices. The miracle for which you are being prepared does not mean you are favored above everyone else. It means your journey will take a distinct form suited to the lessons, abilities, and responsibilities you have received. Some people experience change through outward success. You may first experience it through escaping a cycle that continued for many years. Some receive a new opportunity. You may receive the courage to finally leave the place that made you smaller. Some find abundance through money. You may begin with peace, order, and the ability to stop making decisions from fear of scarcity. Do not compare the way your answer arrives with the way it appears in another person's life. I preserved you not so that you would live forever in defense, but so that you could open your heart again with wisdom. You know what it feels like to be misunderstood, overlooked, and forced to rise alone while no one noticed your exhaustion. These experiences could have caused you to close your heart, but I want to transform them into compassion with boundaries. You will know how to sit beside someone who is hurting without judging them because you once longed for someone to do that for you. You will know how to notice those who have been forgotten because you once stood in that place. But you will also learn that helping does not mean carrying another person's entire life. And love does not require you to exhaust yourself. My beloved child, what is drawing near first requires you to believe that you can live differently. Stop returning to the old place merely because you feel lonely during the transition. Do not quickly fill the empty space with unhealthy connections or decisions that temporarily distract you from anxiety but create a lasting price. That empty space is where something new is being prepared. Care for it with patience. Healthy habits, upright work, and closeness to people who bring peace. You do not need to know the entire future before taking the next step. I am beside you not to promise that every danger will disappear from now on, but to remind you that you do not walk alone and do not need to live in fear. Combine faith with caution, hope with responsibility, and tenderness with firm boundaries. You were protected through many seasons, but now that protection is becoming an invitation to leave survival mode. You are allowed truly to live, build, connect, and use your voice. Solitude taught you to listen. Now, maturity will teach you to find the right people with whom to walk. Therefore, lift your head, my beloved child. You have not been left behind, and you were not created to stand forever outside every door. Unsuitable places once made you feel different, but the right place will not require you to pretend. Sincere people will not make you sacrifice peace in order to remain. Genuine purpose will not make you arrogant. It will make you humbler, more responsible, and more compassionate. I protected you through what you could not see. Now I am preparing you to enter what you will be able to see with a mature heart. Move forward slowly but steadily, because preparation is nearing completion, and the part of life devoted only to endurance is giving way to a life filled with meaning, light, and freedom. My beloved child, the atmosphere around your home is gradually changing, and what you sense is not meant to confuse you, but gently to announce that a new rhythm is beginning to form. Perhaps in recent days you suddenly felt restless, expectant without knowing exactly what you were waiting for. At times, unexpected hope arose while circumstances remained unchanged. At other times, gentle peace covered you, even though old questions remained. I want you to receive these emotions with awareness and kindness. Do not force every sensation to become a mystical sign, but neither should you deny that you are genuinely changing. What once caused panic no longer possesses the same power. What once caused you to collapse now makes you pause and think. This is evidence that you matured through seasons that once appeared to bring only loss. I, Michael, saw you remain strong for so long that you forgot you had the right to be vulnerable and rest. You became accustomed to standing when others fell, extending a hand to support them even while your own hands trembled. You listened to everyone's pain, helped them solve the problems they brought. And then, when the door closed, faced your own emptiness alone without knowing whom to tell. There were nights when you only wanted someone to ask whether you were truly all right. Yet you still said you were fine because you feared becoming a burden. I know the tears you wiped away quickly, the sighs hidden in darkness, and the times you continued moving despite no longer feeling strong. Today, I am not telling you to try harder. I want you to understand that the season of living only to endure cannot continue forever. That chapter of suffering is closing. But an ending does not mean every memory immediately disappears or that life will never again contain challenges. It means that what once ruled you no longer has the right to govern you. You can remember without being pulled back. You can face a similar circumstance without responding through the same fear. You can speak about what happened without feeling trapped inside it. Freedom begins when you stop treating the pain you endured as your identity. You passed through darkness. But darkness is not your name. You were once abandoned. But you were not created to live forever, feeling unworthy. You once carried everything alone. But that does not mean you must continue refusing support. Something new is approaching the threshold of your life. It may be a conversation that helps you understand what confused you, an appropriate opportunity appearing after a long silence, or someone bringing sincerity different from what you experienced before. The turning point may also not be an outward event, but the moment you decide that you will no longer live according to what exhausts you. Do not merely look outside the door waiting for a gift to be delivered. Sometimes the miracle begins in the way you see yourself. Establish boundaries and stop seeking permission from others to live peacefully. What comes from goodness will not pressure you to open the door. It will give you enough time to observe, consider, and recognize it through clarity. I ask you gently, are you ready to receive another kind of life? Not only ready to dream about it, but genuinely ready to live in a way that agrees with what you have prayed for. Are you prepared to leave old habits even though they are so familiar that you sometimes mistake them for safety? Are you willing to refuse relationships that appear only when they need you but disappear when you are tired? Are you ready to release the need to please everyone so that you can preserve your inner peace? A new life requires more than a new door. It also requires you to stop carrying the old keys that opened rooms filled with pain. You once believed certain things were too distant for you. You thought peace belonged only to people whose lives were easy. Healthy love came only to those who had never been hurt. And stability belonged only to those who already possessed every advantage. But I want you to stop using the past to limit the future. What happened may influence the way you see life, but it does not possess the authority to write every page that follows. You can learn to trust again without becoming naive. You can open your heart while preserving boundaries. You can receive help without losing independence. You can enter a good season without constantly fearing that everything will be taken away. What is forming is not the result of one accidental night. It has been built through every time you chose not to surrender. Every moment you stood after disappointment, and every decision not to let your heart become bitter. Trials taught you what needed protection, who deserved to come near, and which values you must never exchange. Sometimes you believed you were merely surviving, but during those very days, your inner capacity was expanding. You learned to evaluate people through actions rather than words alone. You learned that an apology without change is not enough to restore trust. You learned not to use kindness to excuse repeated violations of boundaries. These lessons were the quiet preparation that will help you preserve what is good when it arrives. Certain blessings may not have appeared earlier, not because you were forgotten or because an invisible force deliberately withheld them. Sometimes the timing was not right because you remained among relationships capable of draining every good thing. Some people know only how to receive without preserving. Some would view your opportunity as something they could use rather than something to cultivate with you. At that time, you had not learned how to establish boundaries and might have given too much merely to be loved. I do not condemn you for this. You did what you knew how to do at the time. But now you understand that love does not mean giving everyone unlimited access. There were also times when your heart was too wounded to trust what was good. If an opportunity had come, then you might have rejected it because you feared failure. If a sincere person had entered, you might have distrusted them because others had lied before. If peace had appeared, you might have destroyed it because chaos felt familiar. Therefore, delay was sometimes the period you needed to heal the way you receive. The gift was not the only thing requiring preparation. The hands receiving it also needed to become steady. Now you know how to slow down before promises that sound too beautiful. Examine consistency and avoid placing complete trust in someone merely because you fear loneliness. Yet I do not want you to declare yourself completely ready and stop growing. Readiness is not a fixed destination. It means remaining humble enough to learn, correcting yourself when you recognize an error, and seeking help when something exceeds your strength. Prepare for the new season through genuine actions. Rearrange your living space so that your home becomes a place of recovery. Review your schedule and remove responsibilities you are carrying for other people. Care for your health, sleep, and basic needs. Complete what you postponed. Establish boundaries with those who continually bring chaos and leave you to clean up the consequences. If a message or opportunity arrives, receive it with an open heart, but do not abandon discernment. What is good will not require you to decide in fear. It will not demand secrecy, the loss of dignity, or the sacrifice of precious principles. The right door may require courage, but it will not force you to betray yourself. A suitable person may not be perfect, but they will know how to listen, respect you, and accept responsibility. Observe the fruit of what is approaching. Does it create clarity, order, and opportunity for growth, or only produce intense emotion and leave you in uncertainty? Take a deep breath. My beloved child, feel your feet standing in the present. You are no longer in the place that hurt you, even though memory sometimes makes you believe you never left. Tell the part of you that remains alert that you are learning how to live more safely. You do not need to release every fear immediately. You only need to stop allowing fear to decide for you. Every time you choose calmness, speak truthfully about your needs, and refuse to return to an old cycle, you are creating a new home within yourself.